ladies and gentlemen. It's chapter 12, the final chapter of my Dead Space Remake Impossible difficulty commentary walkthrough. And just actually deleted a couple of minutes of footage from this video. It's all kicking off here, isn't it? Holy shit. Oh wait, look at this guy. Yeah, and he's still alive. If these guys are going to make another Dead Space game, I would appreciate it if they made the enemies a little less tanky, for the love of Christ. Okay, waifu Nicole, you keep on talking, love. You keep on talking. So yeah, as you can see, this video lasts 44 minutes and 25 seconds, but initially it was about 47 minutes. I cut a few minutes out, just where I ended up dying, and then getting up to the next part where I died, I just cut it up. So you didn't see me get to that same stage again. Thankfully, I saved the game just before I died. So I did mention this earlier in the project. Obviously, really, with a permadeath playthrough like this, I don't want to show a death and continue. You know, I don't want to die, and then even if I edit out the death and I've saved the game and I've not lost much progress, I wouldn't be happy to showcase a death within the walkthrough, because it's meant to be a walkthrough, and if I die, then I don't think it's a good walkthrough overall, even though there has been a balance of good and bad gameplay during this. But I said it before and I'll say it again, we'll watch it together, watch it in slow-mo, guys, and I do believe that the location of this stasis unit is there to get you killed. It will get other people killed in the same way, so I'm not deleting this. And I am showing the death, and I'm not going to pull the wool over anyone's eyes, but at the same time, I did not accept the death because it's bullshit. Basically, there are fans in this chapter that you have to fly through. I stasis them, I get through them, but you're going to sandwich. There's blades below you, there's blades above you. I was either empty or pretty low on stasis. I went to a stasis recharge, and the game said, no, you've touched a blade, you're dead there. But from where it is, you can't like stand, you can't put Isaac's feet on the ground. You've got to be flying through the air. It's in such a place, I think they've done it on purpose to kill you personally, and I don't think that my feet were touching the blades, and as such, I thought it was just fucking bullshit, and yeah, we'll see that soon. But if any of you guys don't like that, speak to my lawyer, because I don't give a shit. But here's the contact beam, what we're doing with it. Increases size of the secondary fire. I mean, it's already absolutely ridiculous. But I've got capacity, primary fire, much more ammo. It just says significantly increases. It tends to be about 4 or 5 more bullets when it says that. I've got one for the force gun, another bullet in the force gun as well. But I do use the contact beam quite a lot on the final boss, so we're really pimping it out now, nearly maxing it out completely, even though it's already farcical to begin with. Stomping on that head and going to the store. So what have we got here? Buying quite a lot of force energy, because I must be running low. We've still got 50,000 credits. Of course, in this chapter you don't really need that much stasis, because there's stasis recharge units literally everywhere. Here's a puking slasher. Yeah, like I said, if these guys make another Dead Space game, I want the enemies to be less tanky, but I also want them to work on the plasma cutter. The plasma cutter just doesn't work the same way as it does in the first 2 games. It's much quicker by default, but you can't get accuracy. It doesn't feel as satisfying to use. It's all to do with the game's aiming. You know, when Resident Evil 4 Remake came out earlier this year, you know, I've had issues with Last of Us Part 2's aiming as well, and with this game, it's all about the aiming acceleration. It's how much the reticule moves when you aim and like press up or down, left or right, and sometimes it just makes it go very fast. So I hate that piece of shit. I always lower it, but just played Alan Wake 2, and I don't think Alan Wake 2's gameplay is as fun or as good as Dead Space Remake, Resi 4 Remake, or Last of Us 2, but that game's gunplay, no vulgar weapon sway, no fucking about with any of the settings. You aim your gun, and guess what? If you miss your shots, it's your fault. It's as simple as that. And I really appreciated that aspect of that game. You don't need to faff about with the settings. You didn't have to faff about with settings of old games. Dead Space 1, Resident Evil 4 original. Sub 30 FPS, but if you miss your shots, it was your fault. So this is one of the almighty fights in the game. It's a pretty dark room. I'm lighting it up right now with a flamethrower. But, unfortunately, I feel like this doesn't go that well. There's a lot, I think all the slashers here are enhanced, which doesn't help. But really, I should be using the force gun there before stasising. So that's my fault, but the reason I'm not is because I want to gang them up all together. But, you know, watching this gameplay back here, I don't know why I'm not doing it. I can't put my finger on it. I have said it before, and I'll say it again when I get a bit angry. I'll start to play like an idiot, and there's just no excuses. Should have been doing things a little differently here. Holy shit. Sir, will you please die? Thank you. A lot of contact beam usage now, ladies and gentlemen. That guy's even getting an alt fire. Sensational stuff. Just checking my left and my right. Never comfortable. Who knows where they're coming from? That particular spawn is done. Let's get all the loot because there's shitloads. Spare loot there, 1,200 credits. Don't want to be missing that right now. Shit. So let's see what happens next. I think there is another spawn. Maybe there's not. There's a spawn of lurkers and exploders in the original game, I think. Shitloads of ammo there. Force ammo. Okay, yeah, there's no other spawn, okay. There's actually less enemies in here. Lots of credits, and now we've got 2 Guardians. I remember getting hit here as well. These are Guardians which have already spawned the projectile throwers in front of them, though. Now, look what's happening here. I remember this, look. I'm trying to save the game, and the game won't let me. It's coming out every time. But I'm seeing and waiting how long it'll take, because I'm being stubborn. I want to save my game. The dialogue's not stopping. I want to save the game. Go back in. I want to save the game. Could do that in the original. Why can't I now? And eventually the dialogue stops, and it lets me save. Alrighty. But look, can you see, can you tell, that the Guardians don't stand out as much. No enemy on this game stands out like they do in the original. That's pretty good though. I think that Guardian should be dead now, but there's another one. And you can barely make him out there, you know? Is he dead? He is, because we've got the loot. That's the best way to know if they're dead, because you can't properly tell in this game. It must have been this. I have to do this fight a second time because we're going to die soon. This is the bullshit death that's coming up. And then we go back into this room, and there's a brute amongst other enemies. And I'm trying to think. I think it might be the only time in the first game. I might be wrong here, but I think it might be the only time in the first game. And I can't even remember if this happens in the second game, where there are other enemies whilst you're fighting a brute. And it's an enhanced one as well. And as far as I remember, it goes absolutely terribly. Man records worst walkthrough ever. I actually like this room though, because there's something about it that reminds me at the start of Dead Space 3, when it's actually pretty cool, even though that game is nowhere near on the level of 1 and 2. Just this woman's voice, it sounds extra robotic. It reminds me of some of the like, robot voices in Dead Space 3 that like talk to you when you're doing these puzzles over the tannoy. Well, it's not a tannoy, but you know what I mean. And with all the Merca language all around, I don't know what it is about this particular room. I can't explain it, but it has more of an urban feel to me, like it could be in a city environment for some reason. Maybe I'll be alone in that sense, but yeah. And I still feel like a Dead Space game would be absolutely fucking amazing in that kind of location. You know, the first chapter of Dead Space 3, before you get on that spaceship, where Danik's men are chasing you and everything, obviously it's way too action-orientated, and it's not what the series should be, but that would be cool. I think of Raccoon City and Resi 3 original, not the subpar remake, but yeah, those raccoon streets. Imagine fighting Necros on the street. The Necros in the street. Right, are we ready now? Nope, there's still one to go. Oh no, here we go. So here we have it, ladies and gentlemen. We've got 2 ball sacks there. Now we are going to die this first time, and of course we don't accept the death. Don't forget, if you die on this playthrough, on this difficulty I should say, pause the game and exit out. Makes a joke and a mockery of the difficulty, but is what it is. But I wouldn't have done that had it been a legit death, but this death is not legit. It's fucking bullshit. Now obviously you're a little bit perturbed and scared going through these fans, because you know if you do fuck it up, you can't get through or something like that, then it's game over. There's the stasis unit in question, I think, or it might be the one above us. Now here, the extra ball sacks around, but sometimes they're quite hard to see immediately, and I think there's another stasis unit in here. There might be 2, and I go for the one which obviously gets me killed. But that one there looks like it should be fine. Yeah, there's the 2 ball sacks right next to each other. So we've got stasis here. It's taking a split second to think. Right, through we go immediately. Now it's just 1 set of fans to go. The thing is though, I'm just thinking to myself, do you actually need, like, I can stasis the fans above me, so do I need to shoot them all? Here we go, watch! What? No, game. No. So, pause the game immediately, and you'll go back to your last save. But I would definitely recommend making a save before that room. That stasis unit there, I don't know if they're all like that, but it's very close to the fan. It's very poorly designed, and I'm not accepting that death. I'm watching this in real time, obviously, along with you guys. But I might myself just have a look. 0.5 speed, there's a jump cut. We're back here again. Needless to say, I'm not using that fucking stasis recharge again. I'll just use my own stasis that's in my inventory, but that's bullshit, man. That is bullshit. I wasn't touching the fan, so how did I die? I don't know, but I'm not accepting it. Fuck you. That's basically what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said before, anyone's got a problem with that, you can speak to the Alexander Hilly 123 lawyers. They'll be happy to help and tell you to go fuck yourself. But anyway, we're back here again. We're back here again. Absolute nonsense. No way, mate. I'm spending 8 hours on this game and just calling it quits. No, not happening. So at this point, I was a little bit upset and absolutely relieved that it didn't just wipe the save, because I can't remember, but in Dead Space 2 I don't think you get the choice or the chance to just pause the game. So that must have been a decision by the devs. Yeah, we'll just let them... Ooh, fucking hell, I got close there. I don't know what you're seeing right now. I don't know what I'm thinking of. Look at that. Oh my god. Yeah, you can tell that I'm very... I'm just flummoxed. I'm just all shook up. I'm like Elvis before the burgers and before shitting on the toilet and dying. I just went backwards to where we started. But there's a ball sack, but do you need to shoot that when you can already see that the fans are clear above you? I don't need... Okay, so my microphone just decided to stop working whilst I'm using it in the Mavavi Video Editor. Mavavi Video Editor Plus, that's what it's called, my software that I use to do my videos. I think when my mouse is idle for 10 minutes, it just stops working, which is not good. I don't know if I can stop that in the settings, but obviously I don't want that to happen. It's fucking stupid, but it does it anyway. Whatever. As I get older, technology is really starting to annoy me, but I also think technology, although a lot of it might be somewhat better than it used to be, I think it's made purposefully to piss you off. Now, I should be using the flamethrower there. Look at all the enemies. This is probably one of the toughest fights in the game in the remake, I think, and it's not that hard in the original. In fact, I think in the original it's just a brute on its own, but they obviously thought, let's make this tougher. He is on fire there, he is taking damage, but like I said, the damage over time on this game, I think it's bullshit. I don't think it does next to anything at all. But I think everyone else is dead. This guy, I don't know what he's doing. Get a side angle on him. That was pretty chaotic, but it's very hard to kill the brute first when all the other enemies are around. So just I'd go from area to area, you know, across the bridge that's there. Maybe group them all up, firewall them, maybe gravity well them. Gravity well first, perhaps, and then firewall. Let them share a lot of the same damage. When everyone else is dead, then shit on the brute. Well, this has been a very chaotic video, hasn't it, ladies and gentlemen? It's the final chapter. What do we expect? We just picked up 3 power nodes there as well, ladies and gentlemen. Got a lot of contact energy here. 56,000 in terms of credits. I always do it with the final boss in the original game, though. I always like stocking up on loads of health and ammo. Probably more than I need to. Just to be extra safe. What's going on here? Why did that just unlock on its own? I'm confused. Oh, man. Well, you've heard me say this before during a post-commentary playthrough, but I'm glad I only do one post-commentary project a year. I don't know how people like Seraphim 17 used to do it back in the day. Remember when like there were lots of big games released within a space of a year? Like, it used to be like a dozen great games come out within a space of a month that he'd do projects on. It's taken me a week to narrate this because I've just done like 2 chapters a day. And I've got a bad feeling this isn't going to do very well in terms of views. I want to be wrong. And I know I've got a decent amount of Dead Space subscribers. Fans of the series. But yeah, I've got a bad feeling this is going to do shit, this project. Prove me wrong, people. Come on. This is the last big project of the year. Got 1 or 2 left of field videos, which I'll speak about at the end of this video. But for gaming, this will be it. Oh my days. Careful of him. Look at that. I throw his mate at him and he doesn't even react. I want more flinching as well. That's something that Seraphim 17 didn't like about this game. Like when you throw a box at them in the second game, for example, even the first game, they'll fall over. But they don't here in this game. That's a Slender Man. But we can see him coming. 2 alt fires, the contact beam, a firewall, and then a gravity well for some reason. It's just fun to see the gravity well, isn't it? And I think everyone's dead. Indeed they are. And now it's just outside. There we go. Escorting the marker to its final resting place. I've got a bad feeling this fight goes badly as well. Let me just sit up here. Oh, oh man. That's better. Two millenniums later. Okay, things are going to get pretty loud. Probably not as loud as the original game out here, but loud nevertheless. And then we've got the long cutscene with Nicole. And I've decided not to edit it out, probably just so I can talk, but I don't really know what I'm going to talk about at this stage of proceedings. I've already spoken about how we're going to kill the last boss. I've already spoke about, at times on and off, what I think of this game and how I do like it a lot. I do think it's a good remake, but I've got issues with it as well. You know, it's always a balance. It tends to be the way that I am. I'm not trying to sit on the fence and be a coward, but a lot of the time, you can see what I thought of that. A lot of the time, in life in general, I think there's pros, there's cons, there's always things to speak about and things that can be improved, but things that are better than the original. And ladies and gentlemen, there's always grey areas. It ain't just black or white like Jacko, you know. Shit. Anyway, yet more of the orange ball sacks to shoot. We're going to have a few almighty fights here. And the enemies are going to get buffed. When you see them shine red, it means I think they're getting a health buff from the marker. But I don't actually know if they are. I think it might just be because they're in close proximity to it. They just shine. Can you see them there shining? The enemies are so tanky in this game that you wouldn't know anyway, would you? To be perfectly honest. But, ladies and gentlemen, this ain't even Dead Space anymore. It's Firewall Space. Fucking Firewall, man. Oh my days. It's bloody amazing. Don't forget, the flamethrower isn't even fully upgraded. It's absurd. Anybody still sleeping on the flamethrower who, you know, sleeping on it before they watch my walkthrough, hopefully they'll have seen how useful it is. It can slow you down. You certainly wouldn't want to use it in a speedrun of this game. Her voice makes me laugh though. She does sound like a grandma though when she says that. But yeah, it would slow you down, the flamethrower, but it is incredibly useful. Alrighty, that was pretty good. What's a shit ton of loot? Nice one. Like I said, the next two playthroughs I'm doing of this game, I don't know how long away they'll be, but... Whoa, okay. What am I doing there? Okay, this is obviously the part where it goes pretty badly. I'd like to blame the game. That was just utter stupidity for myself. Reinforcements, ladies and gentlemen. God, it's so awkward shooting the arms in this game. It just is, man. Oh, I was going to say something, I can't remember. Wait, look at him. There's something useful I was going to say, ladies and gentlemen, and I forgot. Don't worry, it weren't that useful. Christ almighty. I think I might actually cut this out. This long cutscene, because I ain't got that much to talk about, and this project has had a lot of downtime. And this ain't about the story, of course, it's about the gameplay. But, you know, Elizabeth Cross was alive. That's actually Cross that's with us there. But she was hallucinating Mr. Jacob Temple. We were hallucinating Nicole. But then Kendra kills her anyway, so it doesn't matter. And then at the end, something actually happens that makes me angry. But I'm actually just going to cut this part out, guys. See you in a minute. Okay, there we go. There's an edit. Oh, there's just Cross getting wrecked. And Clarky... Oh, Clarky Boy's going... Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Motherfucker! Fuck! Shit. So you can make him swear when he's stamping and stomping, like in Dead Space 2 and 3. I can't remember if they, with the third game, added any extra lines of dialogue for his stomping. But I think he just says fuck and then motherfucker. No one swears better than Gunnar Wright, man. I don't know why. But in this game, it's a little harder to make him do it, but you can get him to do it, but he just tends to say that, what you heard there. It's not as hilarious and ridiculous, but it's in the game anyway, and I think that's pretty cool. But yeah, I just thought I'd edit a couple of minutes of footage out there, guys, just to get rid of a bit more downtime. Still got 14 minutes of the video left, and oh my goodness, can't you tell there's a boss fight coming up? Give me the loot, give me the loot. And here is definitely where I recommend. What I would recommend is, obviously on Impossible you can only have one save file, but maybe make a save before upgrading. So as you can see, we've got 52,000 here. We've got a lot of health in my inventory, but my inventory might look different than yours. So perhaps, if you're scared of the last boss, because it is a bit tougher in this game, what I would recommend to do is... Oh, interesting. Is to... make the save before you upgrade. So if you're struggling, if you're dying, you can then use the upgrades differently. Whereas if you do all the upgrading shit, you've got no credits left and then you save, well, it is what it is, isn't it? That helped me in a game that I played within the last year, but I can't remember what it was. It might come to me eventually, but I completed a game in the last year where I did that. Oh, I tell you what it was. It was a Resi 4 remake. Yeah, the DLC, Separate Ways. I was really struggling with the last boss, sadly, and I made different upgrades, 3 different upgrades, and it helped big time. So there we have it. But yeah, I've got rid of the Force Gun. You do have to fight some normal Necros, so interesting decision, but really, we get rid of, even the Flamethrower's not going to get used that much now here. It's all about the Plasma Cutter and the Contact Beam. You'll see it used against the Necros a few times, but as you can see here, 6 nodes to go. And what are we doing? Size of the secondary fire, brilliant. Reload is that, capacity, secondary fire again, capacity, secondary fire. How can the secondary fire get so, like, damaging? It's kind of what they did with the line gun in the second game, where the alt fire can be improved like 6 or 7 times, and it just wasn't necessary because it was that powerful. They kind of went apeshit with it. Well, that's the Contact Beam secondary fire on this game. Like, that's pretty powerful. What are we doing here? I'm buying more nodes, guys. Okay. I'm buying more nodes. Cell stasis. I'm just... Even I'm a little bit... I've only completed before doing this project Impossible once, ladies and gentlemen, so... As you'll probably be able to tell with the gameplay, I'm not really an expert with a remake. But I'm just making sure, I think, that, yeah, here you go. Primary, secondary, some kind of upgrade, secondary again. I'm just maxing the Contact Beam out, quite simply. And it helps because I'm making the save after upgrading, so I'm not heeding the warning that I told you guys. But I'm confident it'll be okay here. But I take one bad piece of damage here and it nearly kills me, so just be careful. Look at my inventory though, they're nearly all large med packs. If you can store up large med packs and then use them for this boss, I think that'll be really useful. Because this Hive Mind, he hits harder than anything else in the game. More so than the original, in my opinion. But I have to say, something makes me angry. Probably to show Isaac as a good character and all that shit, because this doesn't really happen in the original. Obviously, Kendra gets shat on here, thankfully, but he doesn't try and save her. Obviously, he can't speak in the first game. Fuck silent protagonists, I'm sick of them. You don't really get as many these days, but yeah, I'm done with silent protagonists. One thing about like the 360 era gaming, which wasn't as good. But look, he tries to save her. He tries to save her. Fuck that shit. Still shouting the name. She just fucking absolutely been obliterated. But here we have it, ladies and gentlemen. He's got a few new attacks. The boss fight is slightly better. It's a little harder, but it was never a great fight. But it doesn't matter. But look at the honey nut clusters. That's what we're going to call them. They are much smaller, and it's hard to be precise because of the aiming. I don't know what keyboard mouse is like with this game, but I'm assuming it's easier. But this is a project that's being done with the console peasant race in mind. But yeah, he puts these in front of you. I always destroy the one closest. I think they blow up the closer you get to them, but as you can see, it's the primary fire that I'm doing for this phase, because you can just spray it. Now I'm using the plasma cutter, and you can see why it's awkward. And that doesn't really take that much health away from you. But look at all these missed shots with the plasma cutter. This is why, in my opinion, you want to use the contact beam here. If you were using the pulse rifle, and you know, people criticise the pulse rifle, but if it's maxed out in terms of damage, it should be doing some good work here. By the way, I did mention to you guys earlier, for some reason, it's the time in the game where you least need it, but the game starts dropping stasis packs here all the time. It's a piss take, really. I don't know why it does it. But I think there's only one more honey nut cluster. And I can't remember, but in the original game, you destroy the clusters and then it drags you upside down, and then you destroy the thing in the middle. The other clusters, if that's right. But this time, it drags you upside down right at the end when there's one like honey nut cluster left. Whereas with the original game, you could be dragged upside down when there was like 3 of them left, I think. Or was it 2? So it's a little bit harder in the original, to be honest. If that makes sense. Sorry if it doesn't, guys. But yeah, now we get this wave where we just get enemies, and this should be pretty straightforward. They're all coming at you from the front. Although that guy, you see him to the right, look at him. What's he doing? No force gun here, of course. So that's why I'm just stasising him and taking him out with the alt fire, the contact beam. Small med pack there, that's useful. Ammo, lovely. There are quite a lot of them here. For some reason, I'm only just noticing it now in Chapter 12. The video seems to be cutting up a bit. I've still got the raw files on my computer. And obviously I've not started uploading this to YouTube now. I only delete files off my computer when I've uploaded the project fully. It's one of the rules that I have, just in case something goes Pete Tong. But yeah, this project's nearly taken 100 gigabytes of space up, man. Fucking hell. That's 1080p, 60 FPS for you, but here we go. I think this happens earlier on in the fight in the original as well. But there we go, the honey nut cluster's inside. Best thing to do, primary fire with the contact beam. And then he's gonna shoot down the... Yeah, the audio's cutting up. Why is that happening? The green... bile. Let's call it the green bile. Although that's just making me think of the Green Mile. No Tom Hanks in this one, motherfuckers. But left one's coming down, go forward. Right one's coming down, move backwards. Rinse and repeat until you get hit. And the reason I did get hit though is because I can't move to the left. Because you're going to get damaged by the green bile. R.I.P. the black guy in Green Mile, can't remember his name. I think he left the building a few years ago. What a performance that was. Yep, okay. Tentacles coming down, move to the back. The left one's coming down, move to the front. Right one's coming down, move to the back. Right at the back. Still got the green bile in the middle. Destroy these again. Remember to reload after every time you use it. And this is what I like to do here, because this can be to the left or the right, you see. And I don't know if it's the same every time. I think it might be based on where you stand. And also, sometimes it sticks around and sometimes it disappears straight away. And I also don't know why that is. Because if it sticks around, you can't, like, it's sticking around there. So I can't go to the left, but before it wasn't. And thus I can walk straight over it and it's nowhere near as dangerous. So, But I like to just stay in the middle and just strafe left and right so I confuse the game. So it doesn't know where to put it. And it tends to put it in the middle. And that's the best place because you want to be to the left or the right. If the bile is to the left or the right, in my opinion, it makes it a little trickier, this, I think. So I'm in the middle. Okay, it's slightly to the right, but I've still got a lot of area to play with here. It's disappeared straight away. I'm in the middle. Where am I going? I'm going to the right. Yeah, I think that's the best thing to do. But listen to the audio, guys. Listen. Oh, okay, that's my fault. That's fucking pure stupidity. That's all on me, that. Listen to the audio. Doesn't it sound hollow? I can't hear any music, right? It's loud, but there was music playing in the original, and it's kind of like the Leviathan fight. It seems a bit empty. But here we have it. We're going to be dragged upside down. And yet again, no point, in my opinion, in being precise here. Just spray the fuck out of this with the contact beam. Wait until he shook you. And then when you can shoot again. Yeah. You don't need to damage it too much. Contact beam, primary fire, best thing for it, in my opinion. Or the pulse rifle. Anything fast, really. But that's it. Dead Space Remake, ladies and gentlemen. Impossible difficulty. It's a shame that you can cheese it. If you die, you can reset immediately. I feel like they should have done another difficulty in this game. Like, oh, nice. Pure survival from the third game would have been pretty cool. But look how slow the ammo's going there, you see? You'd have thought that more ammo would be used up by that time. And it really isn't. And that's the same way, the same situation, I should say, with the flamethrower. Holy shit, the game's going to get loud. In a moment, the audio's cutting up again. Why is that happening? I don't know. Holy shit. There we have it. And what next for the series, ladies and gentlemen? Tell me your thoughts. This game, apparently, I think I mentioned this once so far in the playthrough. It sold about 3 million units. I think it's close to 2 though. Around about the same as the second game. I could have told you that before its release. Yeah. Would have wanted 10 million. And ultimately, although I do like this remake, I feel like it could have been better. I'm happy it happened. Would I have preferred a 4th game? You're damn right. Do I feel that this game's disappointing sales return, because EA will be disappointed that it only made 2 million units. Do I feel that the poor performance, I don't think it performed poorly. I think 2 million units for a survival horror game is what you'd expect these days, unfortunately. The Zoomers don't like survival horror, they like walking simulators. But do I feel like it'll affect the chance of a 4th game? I do. And so does Nicole. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. This has been fun to do. Bit tiring by the end. Final project of the year. Yeah, that's my loadout. The plasma cutter, flamethrower, contact beam, force gun. There we have it. Maybe sometime later in 2024 I'm going to do a 2-video long play of the second game. Until now, and the end of the year, ladies and gentlemen, a month and a half to go, I've got a Gangstar worst to best albums ranked, my favourite hip-hop duo of all time. I've got Christmas Pudding crisp review. I've got the Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to the subscribers video. And yeah, that'll be it. Thanks for watching, guys. See you soon. Bye-bye.